Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that's rather gross, okay? And if anything that's rather gross bothers you, just don't watch anymore. Just click on out of here. And what it is about, well, it's something that I used to do, not like this though, but I don't know that anybody would know that. And but what I've seen in more than one person do, okay, and I'm sure a lot of people have done something like this. We all make mistakes. We all have things that we don't realize we're doing it, and we've done it. But now, especially now, today is July 31st, 2020. You know, during the pandemic, especially right now, it's important that we notice. You know, we pay attention to what we do in this kind of situation. Now, I think I've mentioned it in one video before, and I don't think I got any comments on it. And but I just don't know which channel. I have more than one channel. I don't know which one I put it on. I haven't checked. I don't think I even put it in the title. I'm not sure. But it's rather gross, okay? And so, let me try to get to this. Now, you know I live in Texas, or maybe you don't know that I live in Texas. And here in Texas at this time, we wearing face coverings and masks is it's mandatory. Okay, we have to wear them. And so far, the little I have been out, I haven't been into any store since the pandemic, since February, I should say, and haven't been in any place since February. But what I've seen, you know, I've been a few places. Usually people aren't wearing, like the other day I went to the park and the whole family drove up in front of me. I had to stop my video and start over again. They weren't wearing masks. Before that, some people were walking down the street. They weren't wearing masks. Then a guy came up. He wasn't wearing masks. Oh, and it just goes on and on. And I've seen people aren't wearing masks. And it's mandatory. If you're going to be out somewhere, now, like I'm sitting in my SUV right now, I don't have to wear one because I'm, for one, in front of my house. I'm not expecting to be around anybody. I'm alone in my SUV. Okay? But now, if somebody were to come up to my window, yeah, that's the whole social distancing and all that, and if they come up to my window, shame on them. My house is marked. No trespassing, and so forth. But yeah, you know, if you expect to be in, I don't know the whole, you can look it up, and I could be wrong on exactly how it's worded, but that's from what I got in some news clip. Anyway, like I said, I don't go to grocery stores. I have mine delivered, or we pick it up. And when we pick it up, he picks it up. Actually, I'm going to start doing it myself. But you have to wear a mask, okay? Because they're going to be putting stuff in the back of your SUV. Is from what we understand. Alright. Okay, and pardon the way I'm doing my videos. I would do them at the park, but the day got away from me, and it's 3:16 p.m. right now, and it's too hot. There's no shade. I know that from experience to do them elsewhere. So I'm doing it this way, and it's too noisy in the house. Anyway, so now some know that this channel I made originally, I was doing shopping videos, and I did it for years. Next month starts tomorrow. On the 21st will be 6 years that I started making videos on it. And I really haven't paid much attention to it after that first year, really. On and off, I do. But anyway, so I used to do videos, and I'd go in, you know, especially like Dollar Tree. That's the first I saw, and that's the first thing, hey, I can do that. And that's what I did. And I did Dollar Tree, and, you know, people showed the items and everything, and, you know, that they're shopping, and, you know, do that. And, you know, I might flip through some stuff, you know, like they had something hanging on the, you know, one of those, what are they called, pegs? And I'd show what was behind the first one or something. I used to do that. Now, what I knew about me was that back in 2012, okay, 2012, I started making videos 6 years ago, so it's 2020 now. So, but back in 2012, I saw over 21 doctors. I quit counting at 21 healthcare professionals about this problem I had. None of them figured out. I finally did, 2.5 years after it started. But the first one said that I had apparently touched something, probably on my job, that set off, that she made it real brief. And she said she made, it's more deep than this, but whatever I touched set off a secondary reaction, and it was a contact dermatitis. Okay. I don't know if that was true, because what I finally figured out 2.5 years later myself, and none of them had even suggested this, was that I was allergic to a medication I was taking. Now, from what I think it was the first one, I think it was her, said that it could have been something I touched that caused that. Okay, that allergic reaction to the medication I was on. I don't know. They tried to give me one in the same family, and it did another thing. But anyway, because of that, what happened was that contact dermatitis started just anywhere, it started spreading, anywhere where you don't have hair follicles. Okay, you don't see them, or maybe you don't have them, I guess. Like on your wrist, on the palms of your hands, on palms of my hands turned gray during that time. It was awful, 2.5 years of that. And because of that, I did not touch my face. My face was the only place that, face and neck, that people would really see that it didn't bother. And wasn't there. So I said, I'm not touching my face. I don't touch my eyes, my nose, even my ears, my mouth, nothing I would touch with my bare hands at all, ever. So I was afraid. I don't know how my mind worked back then, but having that was pretty stressful. But I felt like, okay, I might put it on my face somehow, because nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew what it was. All these healthcare professionals. 5 times I went to 3 different ERs, and yeah, they couldn't figure it out. And other doctors, my own doctor, so forth. Nobody could figure it out. And anyway, because of that, I learned not to touch my face. Now, during the pandemic, that's great. I don't touch my face. Okay? I actually learned instead, like if I didn't have a tissue, usually I have a tissue. I have 2 boxes, I think, in the one almost finished here in the SUV. But, if I don't have one handy, sorry about that. My phone got hot. My camera. Anyway, I was talking about, because of that, I don't touch my face. And if I don't have a tissue, I learn to take from the inside of my shirt to do whatever I have to do. Like the other day I was sitting out here and I didn't think fast enough, but something hit my eye. Not hit it, but all of a sudden I had a sharp pain, and it was twice that happened. Not that day, but it happened the night before, and then that day, like a pain all of a sudden in my left eye, and then I touched it. Okay, and I said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that," because it is not my habit, but that was a pain. I don't have pains on my face. That was, I think it was allergy. I think when I got in my SUV, something got in my eye, and all of a sudden, boom. You see what I'm saying? And but because of that, I don't do that. So if I go into stores and everything, and I'm one of these, I truly am not truly, but close enough to a germaphobe. When was it, 3 years ago? 2017, 2018, that flu, I definitely became more of one. But now I had that experience back in 2012, and from that moment on, I was very particular about what I touched, made sure I washed my hands after I touched stuff, and just, I wasn't to the obsessive part, obsessive side, but I did. I got into that habit of washing my hands, and I'm allergic to those antibacterial soaps. I'm allergic to the alcohol, and if I put the alcohol on my hands, I don't know if I was before then, but I am now. Since 2012, they break out. I'm allergic to it. Okay, so I can't use those. So, but I'm still particular. I found some things that I could use that don't have that much alcohol in them. So still, it's better than nothing, in other words. And I'm not a doctor, so don't take my word on it. Ask your own, is that right or not? And for you, and I know what worked for me. So anyway, so what nobody knew was, if I touched stuff in a store, my hands were clean. Okay. Now, the whole fact is that I touched something in the store, you see, where they clean after that. When you're in a store, if you touch one item and you touch another, if you touch an item and somebody else has touched it, you know somebody else has touched it, so put it up there. And how clean are your hands? And now I'm saying that this situation I'm going to talk about that's really gross has made me rethink everything. And I used to wear gloves a lot when I went into places because of that experience. So it started on my hands, by the way. From back in 2012, it started on my hands, and the one thing they thought was I was working for a senior living community as an activity life enrichment director, and I was touching some books that somebody had donated, and I was touching them and putting them up on a bookshelf. And I had one of those books, and it seemed like, I took one, or maybe I bought a book, I don't know, but it had a funny smell, like somebody may have had those in the basement. Somebody had said something like that, with a lot of chemicals, and I have chemical allergies already. So anyway, so you get the gist of what I'm saying. I might have to divide this video up into more than one video, but it's a story. Okay. So I'm very particular about that kind of thing. Still, I wonder, I know I'd go into the store and I touch stuff, and then my hands are clean, go out, wash my hands, with something in my SUV that I could use. Okay, now, in a video I mentioned this about some of these, what Dr. Phil had called, and this woman had told me that Dr. Phil called somebody a COVID-idiot, a COVID idiot. They just basically it was that they don't believe in it, and so they don't do things appropriately that they should be doing, knowing that it exists. They just don't believe in it, and stuff like that. And I saw a meme that said this kind of thing, and there were hoarders, hoarding like toilet paper and stuff. So along this line, and I made a video, more than one really, about people making videos, during this pandemic. This was before the pandemic for me, but during this pandemic, they were going into these stores and showing items and touching these items, and I was thinking, how gross. And I had reasons for saying that. And like I'm saying, it's more than one person, but I'm just going to say she. They were all females. I'm just going to make it one person, a composite, and talk about as if it's just one person, but it's actually more. I saw do this. On video. It's on video. Okay, it's pretty gross. And, that part of it was, touching things. Now, how many of us have seen these, people talk, like news things? Hold on a second. Let me flip it here. Okay. So how many of us have seen, whether it's in the news, the actual, news, or whether it was on some social media, people, I think some of it was before and some was since then. I've seen memes, I've seen all kinds of things about people. Before, I think it was that they were going to grocery stores and licking ice cream, and putting it back in, and they would actually dumb enough to make videos, and then they got, I don't know, fined, arrested, whatever it was. But there were more than that. And then once this pandemic started, I think, I don't remember the whole story. Wasn't it a woman that sneezed or coughed all across a bunch of meat, and it was something like 34,000? It was a ridiculous amount that they had to get rid of because of the possibility. And I don't know whether she did it on purpose or not. I don't remember the whole story. If you remember the whole story, leave it in a comment below. But and there was also, I saw a meme, I think it was a meme of a guy, I know it's a video. He was drinking stuff off the shelf, like drinking some kind of liquid, not a soda. I don't think it was a soda, but something along that line. And he was drinking it and putting the lid back on and putting it back on the shelf, and just people doing crazy stuff like that. We've all seen that. We know that's against the law. They're going to get arrested, or they're going to get fined, and or both, in prison maybe, whatever. You don't do that, okay? You just don't do that. Now, imagine someone who does something, who has an attitude about like I said, I'm saying someone, a woman, but it's going to be a composite of many several I've seen, not many, but several. But they're doing, I'm going to say it as singular. She's doing something that she doesn't have that care. She doesn't care about this. She doesn't think this is that big of a deal. All these people who are dying, she doesn't care. She says it's fake news. It's all a hoax and a hype and oh, they're just blowing it out of proportion for this reason and that reason. Bunch of BS. Okay, and she'll only a bunch of lies, misinformation, disinformation, all this kind of stuff. Lies, wrong, period. And the only reason she wears the face covering or a mask is because it's the law and she doesn't want to get fined, but otherwise she doesn't believe in all of it, this kind of thing. And so she continues her life as though it doesn't exist. They're going places, doing things, and this has happened more than once, and like I said, several women. She just goes about like as if it doesn't exist and it never did. Okay, it's just it's just nothing to them. To this type, it's nothing but a flu. It's not a flu, for one thing, and it's nothing like it for another. It kills a lot of people. It's easy, much easier to catch. But no, you don't believe me? Go read the actual experts. Listen to them, read them. The actual scientists, not conspiracy theorists, but scientists. Okay, scientists. Yeah, not some doctor, that random doctor that's going to talk about what is it, demons and stuff like that. Yeah, remember, today's July 31st, 2020. Not somebody like that. Not someone who's going to, if you're the type that believes it's a hoax, yeah, you're going to still find somebody that says that that's what it is. Confirmation bias is what it's called. But no, it's real. Okay? It's killed people. All right. So, think about somebody like that. Somebody who just doesn't believe in it is going to continue her life just like nothing is going on. Even though the whole rest of the world, most people, I'd say most people believe it. And anyway, this person is someone who makes videos. Videos just aren't only on YouTube. Okay, and you've watched this person before, so you know them. You know their mindset, the way that they look, and it's totally wrong, totally bad. But this person's on video and is going to go do some shopping. And has the video, she has it, it's females, I said. She has the video on her, you can see her. And she's driving down the road going to go, to a store, to go shopping. And while she's driving down the road, okay, she doesn't have her mask on, which, like I said, here, you're by yourself. You don't have to if you're driving down the road. And while she's doing that, she doesn't have her mask on, like I said. She starts rubbing her nose. And what is that called? I've been trying to think. I should look it up. When some children, maybe even some adults, they'll use their, what is that finger? The index finger on the side of it, like, close to your thumb, that side. And they'll rub their nose. Okay, that's what she does. She rubs it, more than one woman, okay, rubs it vigorously. Just rubbing it. I told you it's going to be gross. And, like she's trying to shake something out of it there or something and saying, I have allergies. Like, I have seen and heard this with more than one person, and it's so totally gross to me when they then don't wash their hands and go eat. It grosses me out. It does. What is that called? Infantile? I don't know. Did they get, does their hand turn green or something? I don't know. I could be remembering something totally wrong from many, many years ago. But anyway, I mean, if you're sitting there thinking this person's going to go shopping and just did that, rubbing her nose vigorously and for a while and then pulling on it, gross, and not using a Kleenex, nothing, and then it's going to go shopping, and then gets out and goes shopping. Okay, while shopping, she touches a lot of stuff, digs her hands into stuff. With that hand that she rubbed all over her nose during the middle of a pandemic, okay, she throws her hands in these things and pulls on stuff and touches a lot of stuff with that, using that same hand. And clothing, just all kinds of things that somebody else is probably going to come and touch again, touch themselves. Now, a person like that, to me, is the one that would, if had it, would be spreading it. You know, some people are asymptomatic, no symptoms. They could have it and not know it. And you know, if they're that type that's going out rubbing their nose before going in shopping and touching things, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I cannot see how that would not spread. Then how about if they pull it down below their nose and start sneezing? Don't care, don't notice, don't care. Do not care that this is happening in the middle of a store and they're sneezing on items. Yeah. Not turning their head away, not using the mask to cover their sneeze, not their elbow, not anything. You know, their, what is it called? Crook of your elbow, would that be? Nothing. Or then, how about rubbing their eyes? Rubbing their nose again. You know, here's the grossest one I've seen. No, maybe it's not the grossest. It's one of a woman in the store doing this kind of thing, sticks her pinky in her ear, way deep in her ear, and shakes it. Then touches something with that hand. That includes the pinky that she just shoved in her ear and shook. I'm telling you, I don't usually do videos like this. I think, like I said, I think I did one that mentioned all I mentioned was people going and shopping and touching stuff. I think that's all I said. But this was the deeper part. Okay, and I just recently saw another one. That's why it's on my mind. And but that is just so totally gross to me. Okay, but it doesn't end there. Now, me myself, I am not going to be. I never stick my finger. You know, I'm not going to stick my finger in my ear and shake it and rub my nose like that. And like I said, I don't touch my face, even my ears. You know, if I have to sneeze, I grab a tissue. Okay, a Kleenex. I call them Kleenex, but a tissue. And I know, you know, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Like I said, I used to touch stuff in stores before the pandemic, but yeah, I would not go around touching stuff during a pandemic. And like I said, it made me really rethink all of what I ever did. You know, before if we go shopping, we have to touch some things. Okay, we're shopping, we're going to be putting them in our cart. But what it made me rethink was this about touching stuff that we're not going to buy. Okay, it gets grosser. So let me get back to this. I never have ever okay, I'm lying. Maybe I have. But I don't like the whole thing of trying on clothes in store. Many years ago, I knew what size I wore, and that's that. Okay, that's that. Okay, yeah. Let me clip this. Okay, I might have, like I said, I might have to break this up into 2 videos. But anyway, you know, I don't try on clothes because the whole fault of somebody else had tried on that pair of pants or something. And what is that term? Commando? They may have been going commando. Whatever it is. But it just totally grosses me out. I'm telling you, when I buy something new, I wash it before I wear it. Seriously. I don't try it on. And I've worn the same size since I was probably like 12 years old. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And now these days, one of the things that made me really rethink, and I just recently ordered some clothes from Lane Bryant, and got them in the mail, ordered them online, and they were sent in packages, like before they'd been put on the shelves, and I still washed them before I wore them. But my rethinking is that's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm not going to go shopping like that, because to think that somebody like that, and I have seen them do this more than once, go in and touch clothes after they've touched their nose, rub their nose, put their fingers in their ears, rub their eyes, whatever. No, coughed on, sneezed on. No, I'm not going to be wearing that. And I'm not going to be touching it myself. And like I said, it made me rethink a lot about shopping. But there's more. So, like I said, I'm just going to say one is that, even though maybe more, some of these are more than one things, I've seen on video. How about, okay, they're trying on pants. It's a woman. That's, like I just said, that's gross, but it gets deeper. Trying on different ones. And how clean is the person who's going to do all that with their nose, their eyes, their ears, and then it continues. Yeah, how clean are they? Really? It grosses me out to think that, yeah, somebody like that has touched anything that I would buy. Okay, so then then these are people who are on camera. Some are live stream, some are taking pictures, and they don't see any problem with any of this. Not pictures, but videos, clips that aren't live stream. And they go back out and say they're live streaming or not, and put the camera on themselves. And after they've done all this with their own hands, to then stick their hand in their mouth. Who sticks their hand in their mouth on video anyway? Unless it's part of the... Yeah, I don't know. I don't see why, unless you're doing something in dentistry or something. But sticks their hand in their mouth. Maybe, I don't know why, but it happened. I saw it. Rubbing their nose vigorously, putting their fingers in their ears, rubbing their eyes. Come on, this pandemic is real. And yeah, I've heard all that stuff about they don't think it's more about what's in the air. Well, let's see, they're pulling their mask down below their nose. Okay, it's more about what's in the air, but that doesn't mean that it's not about what you can touch. It means that it's more. They think more happens by I don't know. You go watch the experts, like I said, and not these people who want to say, "Oh well, it's not all bad," blah, blah, blah. Especially the ones that say it's the Democrat. The Democrats don't rule the world, okay? This is a worldwide pandemic. It did not start here. So anyway, but okay, I think that was all. I think that was it. I don't know. But the last part to all of this was sticking their hands in their mouth. I mean, seriously, I cannot imagine. I can imagine me doing one thing, making a mistake. I can tell you that I've almost done one, and the other one, I don't know if it would be a mistake or just wasn't that smart, but it was in my own house. So, I wasn't around anybody. Anyway, but we are not perfect beings. But that goes beyond. Okay, that goes beyond it. Who would really do... I know who can really do that, but why would anybody do that and touch a whole bunch of stuff? Like I said, dig her hand down in something, and all of her hand touches all those products. I just had a vent about this, and I might continue to. I have lost more subscribers after I stopped doing shopping videos. I don't care. I really don't. I'm on this, and like I said, I lost interest in this channel 5 years ago or so, after some really, anyway, a lot of things, several things. I tried again. Remember when they had that small channels got demonetized? Then I had a whole bunch of new subscribers and people I watched, and after that I lost interest again. Just totally did. And so I only put videos every once in a while, and if people don't like them, they can leave. I always hated people say it when people would say that, but why they were saying it was more. It's like people who were saying things like, being like these COVIDiots I'm mentioning, that saying, if you don't like that I'm doing this, that's don't watch it. But really, people who would do that, I mean, come on. Do they not think for a moment that nobody wants their, let me use this child term for it, cooties all over everything? I had to say that. Adam had said that to me one day. He's older than I am. And he said, ew, Cootie's about, I think it was a puppy. And I just cracked up laughing. It was just the other day. So I had to say that because somebody else's cooties. But we don't want your cooties. And but like I said, it's made me rethink a lot of things. You know, like I said, I have my stuff delivered, or you know, we pick it up. So okay, and I know we've got to get our groceries somewhere somehow. Like I said, I wash everything I can wash, and then the other stuff I'll leave sitting on that old table I had. It's like 20 years old. I'll leave it there in the corner for a while. I'm going to do a video on that, on another one. I've done one the other day. I have more stuff now, and I'm going to try to clean the table off a little bit better. It's, like I said, it's old. Some people would say, that's not old, and I know that's not old. I used to love antiques. Loved antiques, had them, but this is just an old table we don't use. And so now I'll be doing, you know, I want to do, that was always been relaxing to me, to do those kinds of videos. And so I'm going to, you know, keep some of the stuff that we're not going to be using just right away. I've already put up some. I wash things. I wash them. Soap and water, you know. Like I said, I'm allergic to that antibacterial stuff. So I do the best I can. And anyway, but it's made me really rethink about after this pandemic, you know, or what I do now as far as getting things, where to order them from. Clothing, I'm going to order. I'm not going to, I've already mentioned that in that other video, I'm not going to ever order from one certain particular place where you can buy stuff that's just online. No, never again. Most of the stuff that we've received from there over the years is not what's in the picture, or something's wrong with it, or it comes, somebody stepped on it, or broke it, or bent it, or yeah, so much. It was so rare that we got anything good. So why did we not try anything else? What was the only place we could find it? I'm going to have to start digging a lot deeper, find stuff. But anyway, if you've stuck around this long, I doubt anybody will. I think once you know, because a lot of people I've noticed over these years that a lot more people are showing up who are the type that would think it's all a hoax and all the hype and all of that, you know. And I'm like, I'm an independent, by the way. I'm an independent. I don't even like saying independent, but I'm an independent because I'm not a joiner. I think for myself, and I don't need anybody to tell me how I must think. I want to know how I think. Anyway, if you stuck around this long, you know, if you have a comment, go ahead and leave it below. But I might not get any comments. Because some people, they just don't like this. Because why? Why would some people not want to think, okay, she's telling us something, maybe we should think about that. It's gross. I gave you fair warning. It's probably going to be in the title, fair warning. It's gross. I mean, it's not, I've known grosser, I should say. Something more gross things, but, you know, you can see them on shows, movies, all that. But this is what's going on now. With what's going on now, and it's not like what you would think it's only to be the only one. It's not been the only one. But anyway, I'm wrapping up. Talk to you on another video.